Module 3. Weeds, Identification, Ecology, and Competition with Crops. Classification of weeds. Weeds are classified based on growth habit, life cycle, morphology, and ecological characteristics. Life cycle. Annuals, summer and winter. Biennials, perennials, creeping, rhizomatous, or woody. Growth habit. Grasses, monocots, broadleaves, dicots, sedges, and rushes. Ecological classification, terrestrial versus aquatic weeds. Noxious versus non-noxious. Cropping system-specific weeds. Morphology and identification. Accurate weed identification is essential for targeted management. You study morphological features including leaf shape, arrangement, and venation stem types, erect, creeping, climbing, flower structure, inflorescence, and seed morphology. Root systems, taproot, fibrous, rhizomes, stolons. Weed ecology and adaptations. This section explores the ecological strategies weeds employ to dominate cropping systems, rapid growth and reproduction, high seed output and dispersal mechanisms, wind, water, animals, humans, dormancy and persistent seed banks, allelopathy, chemical inhibition of crop growth, tolerance to extreme environmental conditions. Weed crop competition. Learners analyze how weeds compete with crops for essential resources. Light, canopy formation, shading, and reduced photosynthesis. Water, root competition, and soil moisture depletion. Nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and micronutrient competition. Space, physical interference, and crowding effects. The module emphasizes quantitative approaches to assess weed pressure, such as biomass measurement, crop yield loss estimation, and population density evaluation. Weeds as hosts for pests and diseases. Many weeds harbor pests, nematodes, fungi, bacteria, and viruses that can transfer to crops, acting as reservoirs and complicating integrated pest management programs. You understand the importance of controlling weeds to reduce secondary infestations. Integrated Weed Management, IWM. Principles. Building on Module 1, you are introduced to sustainable, multifaceted approaches for controlling weeds. Cultural controls, crop rotation, cover crops, intercropping, planting density, and timing to suppress weed establishment mechanical controls. Hand weeding, hoeing, tillage, mowing, and mulching to reduce weed populations. Biological controls, use of natural enemies, grazing animals, and allelopathic cover crops. Chemical controls, judicious herbicide selection, timing, and application to minimize resistance and environmental impact. Monitoring and decision-making, weed scouting, mapping, and population assessment are emphasized to determine the optimal timing and method of control. Economic thresholds are applied to evaluate when weed management is justified to prevent significant yield loss. Practical applications and case studies. The module includes examples of successful weed management programs across various crops, highlighting challenges, innovations, and lessons learned. You are encouraged to integrate theoretical knowledge with field-based decision-making. Learning outcomes. By the end of Module 3, you will be able to identify and classify major weeds affecting crops based on morphology, life cycle, and ecological traits. Describe the adaptive strategies that enable weeds to survive and compete in agricultural systems. Analyze the mechanisms and effects of weed crop competition on yield, quality, and resource availability. Apply principles of integrated weed management, IWM, to design sustainable and effective weed control strategies. Evaluate the role of weeds as alternate hosts for pests and diseases and their impact on overall crop health. Pest ecology and environmental adaptations. The module examines the role of climate, habitat, crop phenology, and ecological interactions in shaping pest behavior and survival. You study predator-prey dynamics, natural enemy populations, and the impact of monoculture versus polyculture systems on pest prevalence. Pest identification and diagnostic techniques. Accurate identification is essential for effective control. Learners are trained in morphological identification keys, microscopic examination traps and monitoring devices, molecular and biochemical diagnostic tools, case studies and practical applications. The module includes examples of major pest outbreaks, their management strategies, and lessons learned. These case studies integrate scientific principles with practical agronomic decision-making, reinforcing the link between pest biology and management.